Welcome to the podcast. We've got more myth busting for you, and today is all about habits and commitment. So often, when we are setting goals, we don't take into consideration how does this align with my values? And does this align with my values? Now, most things you can find a way to link what it is you want to do to your values, to your priorities, which means you can link it to the person you want to become. Then it makes sense. Then you're on board. Then you will commit. But if you are just listening to the voices that are out there with a lot of shoulds, oh, I should do this, I should do that. You know how many times we have all should ourselves before, right? And those things don't stick. It doesn't last. There's nothing, there's no meat there for us. We start off with a sense of lack because we already feel like we're behind, we're comparing ourselves to somebody, and we're taking on someone else's goal or some general thing that quote unquote everyone says you should do. No wonder you don't want to do it. There's that part of us that just rebels. So when you are creating a habit, so this is a little different than setting a goal. And this is one thing that you can kind of start to differentiate between. When you are setting a goal, make sure you are inspired by it, inspired about it. It has something to do with the version of yourself that you are becoming. It is a step in the right direction for your future self. Then you can make that link. You can connect. It's easier to commit. If you are starting out and judging a habit as something bad or something you need to get rid of, then once again, you're already starting from a place of lack, and it kind of goes back to the shoulds. Then you are less likely to take that on. So I love the book Atomic Habits, and we happen to be studying that right now in the Mastermind book study group. And Atomic Habits talks about these four different ways that creating a habit that you want to continue, that you want to build, just like building a muscle, these four laws or cues to create a good habit. And they are this: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. So, for example, using those cues, recently I did a hydration elevation challenge to encourage people to drink more water and notice how that helped them out physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things. So, in this case, if you wanted to drink more water, making it obvious could be putting your water where you can see it. What do you pass by every day? Maybe have it right there by your computer. Whatever your situation is, making it so obvious. And in this case, that connects to the second law, which is make it attractive. So I encouraged people to not only put their water out where they could see it, but put it in something that was fun. Like if you like a certain color, have your water in a water bottle that is that color. Maybe there's stickers that you like to put on there. Somehow make it attractive. So it's obvious, it's attractive. The next step is to make it obvious, or excuse me, make it easy. So in this case, it goes right along with what we're already doing there. It's sitting out where you can see it. It's in some kind of container that catches your eye. Make it easy. Maybe you've got all of your water, however many ounces you need for the day. Maybe you've got them lined up along the counter. Maybe you've got it set out. There, it's a no-brainer. You don't even have to do anything else. It's just right there for you. You can't even argue with there any being anything hard about that. You take, a full minute in the morning, you fill up all your water, and you've got it laid out for yourself. It's easy. Then the last step, make it satisfying. How do you make something satisfying? And this is a lot of times where a goal can fall short. But in creating a good habit or connecting it with your goal and your values, making something satisfying, do you take a moment in our water example here to when you take a sip, do you verbalize, oh my gosh, that tastes so good. Oh, I know this is helping my body. Do you take a moment to acknowledge what you're doing and be present? Another way you could make it satisfying in this example is maybe you add lemon to your water. Maybe you add cucumber to your water. Maybe you, at the end of the day, take a moment to tune in, see how it felt for you to get enough water for the day, and then celebrate that. That is adding to that level of satisfaction. So, in this whole myth busting in this episode, this idea is giving you opportunity to look at, am I looking to, when I say I have this goal in mind, it does that number one fit with my own values, or is it something that I feel like I should do? If it falls into the should category, you could just forget it right now because you won't do it. But if it kind of falls into that should category, but you still find yourself attracted to the idea of that goal, then you take it a little further and you say, how can I link this idea or personalize this idea to my goals and my priorities? Then from there, you can design a habit. And another thing they talk about in this book, Atomic Habits, is habit stacking. So something that you've already got established in your life that is a no-brainer. You don't even have to think about it. For example, like brushing your teeth. Then you take this new thing that you want to incorporate and you layer it onto something that you already do every day. Make sure that the timing, fits with it. If it's that you want it to work out and you're pairing it with brushing your teeth at night, that's probably not going to be the best habit stack because time of day might not really work out with when you want to work out. So make sure those two things make sense, but stack it onto something, piggyback it onto something that's already established, and you have a much better chance of making that happen. There's a quote that I love about habits because I've really been thinking about habits lately. And what's a habit? What's a goal? What's this difference? What sticks? What am I committed to? And these are great questions to ask yourself. But in the book, The One Thing, which is another book I totally recommend, we did in our book study mastermind as well. There is a quote by F.M. Alexander about habits. And the quote goes like this: people do not decide their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. It's that important. The habits that you establish that you are committed to, take a look in your life right now, whatever is an outcome that you have, whether you like that outcome or not. When you take a look at that outcome, you see what habits you are committed to, again, whether you like it or not, because of consistency, and then you are creating this result. So if there's something going on in your life that you're not really satisfied with, then reverse engineer it, take a look at it, and see what you are committing to. Like, for example, oh, I realize I'm committing to scrolling on my phone more than I am committing to, cooking a nutritious meal. That's just the result that I have been showing myself. If I want to change that, then I need to commit to something different. And so, in that example, if it was about scrolling on your phone, you might put your phone aside or, turn it off, have it over somewhere else and say, once I finish cooking and having this meal, then I will go check out my phone. But if I'm really committed to having some healthy meals and creating that satisfying experience, then here's what I need to do with this habit right now so that I can instead get this result. How does that sound? Does that make sense? Does that click for you in any way? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and be sure and reach out if any of this sounds of interest to you. We work on things like this in the Nourish You program and in the book study that I mentioned. Every 3 months, we do look at a book that could be and can be very impactful. And then we not only read it, there's a difference between book reading and book studying. And in this sense, we go deeper, study it, and then use the support and the accountability of the group. So reach out if any of that sounds of interest. But in the meantime, remember, deciding your habits decides your future. Thanks for joining. Until next time.